podcast where there is no prohibition on the First Amendment. Mark Rizzoli, Anthony Diamond, we're finally back after a couple weeks vacay, but nothing. It never ends in New Jersey.
Well,
does
listen, now, we have stranger danger here in New Jersey. Phil Murphy,
it?
the Attorney General, Matt Plankton. Now they're gonna. I call him Plankton. It's
Right.
Blacken because that's what I think he is. He's such a shitbag. Here so now you have Murphy and the New Jersey Attorney General, which his priority should be public safety. They're now using taxpayer dollars to wage this war against parental rights and protect that pedophilia-filled curriculum because they don't want any parents to be informed what's going on with their children by the school. So while they're pushing this curriculum and all this indoctrination, telling a kid, a boy, if you feel like a girl, you should do this, the puberty blocks and stuff, want to totally take over as the parental figure in these children's lives. So, at some point, I think parents need to wake up and get engaged because the last time I checked, when they enrolled their children in public school, they didn't sign a form to agree to co-parent with the government.
You say that all the time, and you're 100% right. You don't give your parental rights over to the state.
No,
You don't.
Listen, elected officials like evil Phil Murphy are now allowing pedophiles to use the alphabet cult flag
Yep.
as cover. I mean, over the weekend, you've seen it throughout the entire country. The so-called Pride event they're taking with these Pride parades
we're gonna get
where
into
they're
it.
exposing
Yep.
themselves to children. Men in underwear, going up to children who are at these parades. I don't know why parents would take their children to these parades anyway, twerking at them. I mean, Seattle, you had literally exposing their penises to children. The last time I checked, that's a crime.
Well, did you see? They were cheering. They were
Right.
in the cheer. They were saying, "We're coming for your children." They
Yeah,
said that in the cheer.
In the New York City one, let me read the quote.
I don't know but it might have been New York.
In New York City, here's what they were chanting: "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children."
That's it. That's the
So,
one.
I'll tell you, man, that's what a thing to take pride in.
Right,
That
right.
is something to take pride in.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely
You know?
unbelievable.
So now so pedophiles should be getting arrested, not celebrated.
Right.
Okay, because that's what we have now.
Right.
Well, these pedophiles are now coming out of the woodwork.
Right.
They're under the cloak. They're using the alphabet flag as a way to conceal themselves or to shield themselves from prosecution.
Right.
And they're pushing this filth on children.
Right.
And then you have elected officials, right? We have Phil Murphy and the Attorney General now. The Attorney General, which, by the way, he's not paid to be an activist.
No, he's not.
Okay? He's paid for to keep people safe.
Right.
He oversees the law enforcement community in New Jersey. Okay, he's not paid to be an activist. Definitely not paid to to insert politics into his office. He should resign.
There's no separation of powers here. They all go in the same direction. They back each other up. That's what it is.
Well, with that said, Anthony, where is the Speaker, Craig Coughlin?
Oh.
Right? Where is he? They're using taxpayer dollars is being used against taxpayers, right? Against parents.
Right.
To target parental rights, to make it okay now to twist and confuse children.
Right.
Listen, we could go through on the books that are in these schools now.
It's crazy.
No one wants to accept responsibility. We have school superintendents making over $200,000 a year who don't have the intestinal fortitude to stand up to these radicals. The fact that less than 1% of the population is now dictating policy is very disturbing.
It is very disturbing, and you and I have been at it from the beginning. We've been exposing these school districts, the NJ, whether it's the NJEA, superintendent school districts that are legitimately going out of their way.
Yeah.
Okay, to whether it's we had people on, we had whistleblowers here that are what's going on. I mean, it just doesn't end. And who's sticking up for the parents? And I got to be honest. And you talk about Coughlin. I mean, now and you hear rumblings that he wants to be the leader now of the state.
Why wants to run for governor? Because
what has he done?
Listen, everybody out there, drop an email to the Middlesex County Democrat Chairman Kevin McCabe.
Right.
Ask him where his children go to school at.
Oh,
Ask him, since he wants to sign off on all this to support this. Well, he needs to answer now, as well as the president of the Garden State Equality.
Yes.
Right, Christian Fucarino, whatever the hell his name is.
Who has?
Do you have any children, Christian? Parents want to know. Parents want to know how many children you have. Yeah, show because you're married to a man. What does that make it? That makes what you say more important than anyone else. No. How about live and let live? Listen, you and I discussed this before, Anthony. I don't really care what someone's sexual preference is.
No, no.
But when you're taking that flag now and sticking it in my face, now you're going to get pushback.
Absolutely.
Maybe parents, there's a lot of people out there who are afraid to be hit with the stereotype, be canceled, and called all kind of homophobe, xenophobe. Every phobe now. Right. But it's like the flavor of the month now.
I know.
Whenever the Democrats have a cause, they're allowed to break the law. BLM, rioting, protesting, lighting things on fire. No one's arrested, prosecuted. Now we have this LGBTQT, the alphabet flag cult, marching through the streets of this country naked. No one's being arrested.
And they only survive on destruction. They chaos. They want chaos here.
The Democratic Party is totally against law and order.
They are, and not Mark, not for nothing. And parents that don't know this, who voted for the Garden State Equality? Who voted for? We didn't elect these people to have influence into the school, into the curriculum.
The NJEA and Garden State Equality were not elected to govern the state.
No,
what they did was they purchased access to the governor's office.
Yes,
they used their money, their endorsement.
To buy influence.
How many votes? How many votes can they get you? I mean, ask Bud Light.
Right.
At the end of the day, right? They went in with the tranny, and how'd that affect their bottom line?
Clobbered. Absolutely clobbered.
It's just unbelievable how we have people now protecting pedophiles and trying to insert pedophilia into the curriculum into schools.
It is. It's so it's not even. It's beyond disturbing now that what. There's a huge movement here to almost decriminalize this stuff. I'm telling you, it's coming. Don't think it's not coming.
The Democratic Party, their new philosophy is now target your children.
That's it.
They're coming for your children.
Absolutely. And as they just said in a protest here this weekend, okay? They're not lying to you.
Listen, the so-called party of science, right? A man cannot be a woman.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Well, not if you're the Supreme Court justice. She's
also right. They call themselves. They defend women's rights. Well, everybody remains silent. Women's sports is under attack.
Yeah. Well, you can't define people if you're not a biologist. Mark.
I just listen. It just really pisses me off how you have people marching through streets naked.
I know.
Walking up to children who are standing at these.
It's ass backwards. We're an ass backwards.
Exposing themselves. The Democratic Party they're against law and order.
Absolutely,
that's a fact.
Absolutely.
New Jersey's totally off the rails. And let's not absolve the Senate President Nick Scuteri,
right?
Who watches too many mob movies, walks around with his greasy back hair and his suits and everything. How about standing up for something? And the Republicans too.
They stand for
nothing. We hear John Bradnick all the time lecturing people about January 6th. Hey, John, why don't you start standing up for parental rights, start defending children? Same with Bob Eugen. We know Bob Eugen, I guess he needs to have a couple beers before he starts talking.
Well, what movement have these guys been a part of? They have not been a part of any serious movement.
No.
They don't lead. These guys lead from behind. Let's be honest. They lead from behind.
Listen, you have in my legislative district, right? Mayor Owen Henry's running for Senate now.
Mark.
The guy don't stand for anything.
Mark.
It's a clown show.
They made a huge mistake.
It's a clown show.
Massive mistake. And they're gonna that's what show. They're gonna hear about.
The Republican chair of Middlesex County, Rob Benjavenga. Well, we know he's good for getting himself a job in Monmouth County. I mean, recently they had a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Spadia, who speaks the same way we do, stands up for parents and children, was removed as a speaker from that fundraiser because Sean Golden and Bramnick and the rest of them were going, and they couldn't have it.
Right.
So I thought the Republican Party is for free speech, and not censorship.
No,
obviously, Rob Benjavenga, you're not for that.
No.
You have no backbone. And Rob Benjavenga is also an elected official. I haven't heard anything out of him about standing up for children, about parental rights.
No.
These people are cowards.
They want it. They want power. They do. And then they don't do anything. They keep them. They want to stay in power. They get themselves these jobs. We all know what goes on here. It's a joke. And like I said, they lead from behind. They've never been a part, Mark. They haven't stood outside the teachers' union office. No. They haven't led parents down in these down in board meetings. They haven't done any of this stuff. And then have the nerve to question. I'm telling you, they made a big mistake with the Senate choice, man. Big mistake.
Listen, now you have the former Republican, the Middlesex County Republican chair, Lucy Panos, is now campaigning for the radical Democrat running for mayor in Old Bridge. Here's a woman who, on the Board of Ed, she supported and approved a BLM protester on Board of Ed property where they marched to town hall.
Unbelievable.
She's, supported mass lockdowns, mandatory vaccines.
Right.
And so
she supported Democrats over Republicans that were on the Board of Ed.
Well, yeah, right. You ran for board.
I ran for Board of Ed. They supported the Democrat over me.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
So this is what's going on here. Right? But in the meantime, you notice what's the disturbing thing here. They're worried about everything but really should matter. Right now, if you're an elected official, if you can't stand up for a child, you should resign.
Absolutely.
I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it.
Right.
Because you have no business being in office.
No.
If you can't stand up for parental rights. This is everybody out there listening. Whoever's running, I don't care what party they belong to. And Democrat, Republican, if a candidate cannot defend a child, they should not get your vote. That's a fact.
That's I don't know what else to say. I can't even add to that.
I mean, really, you're gonna have the alphabet cult now governing our state.
Right. It's listen.
Now remember now, sanctuary state. Now we're a sanctuary state to mutilate children. Phil Murphy, I mean, he is an evil person. But obviously, he should be sent for a psychological evaluation. He's unfit to hold office.
I agree.
He's unfit to hold office. Right now, you have a lunatic governor of New Jersey. You have a guy who was on his staff, the AG. Matt Plankton was a staffer of his. Okay, he obviously has a lot of issues. Okay, he has no clue about public safety. None of these people do because he's never been an elected official. Okay, and guess who supported Matt Plankton?
Who's that?
John Bramnick. John Bramnick, who endorses Chris Christie, who's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Because he'll fill up the show anyway, obviously.
God, again.
I know.
The guy. Listen, so we could go on and on about this, Mark. You're 100% right.
So parents out there, you really need to start pushing back.
Take the summer and think about this.
Stop worrying about getting canceled on social media, about being called names, because these dangerous people are coming
up for your kids.
You have dangerous people coming for your children.
They're absolutely, and they're admitting to it. it. They're flat out telling you. So, Mark, it's great to be back here. And we're gonna be back again on Thursday, and we're gonna do last call, Mark. And I don't know what you got. Got anything going on for last call here?
Listen, last call is everything we just talked about. The fact that we have a massive assault on children now, being financed by tax dollars.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tax dollars is financing this assault on children, on parental rights. Trying to weaponize not trying to. They are weaponizing the AG's office now.
Right.
It's kind of like you see it every level. The DOJ. Now you have the AG's office being weaponized against parents. It's just never ending. And the best piece of advice I can give to anyone out there, if you can afford it, don't walk, run away from public schools, because you have to get away from it. They're just, we talked about it. There needs to be school choice because what's going on is it's just insanity. The fact that we have a governor signing off on this, he really needs a psychological evaluation.
He does.
He really does. There's something mentally wrong with him. Any adult who is pushing this on children really has a lot of issues.
Well, listen, I really have not much to say, and we're going to wait for Chris Christie too, because I was going to get into him, but let Fat Mouth keep running his mouth. He ain't going to win anyway. He has no shot in the world. But Mark, good to be back. We're going to listen. We'll see everybody on Thursday, and enjoy the rest of your week. And
don't forget to vote.
Vote early. Hey, visit our website and freedomtospeakeasy.com and our YouTube page. Please subscribe. We'll talk to everybody soon. Thank you.